There we go. Hey, want to say thank y'all for tapping in to Streetball the Pro. I'm the ambassador with my man Ballaholic, and today we have a special guest and our new partner, Frankie D. Made Rich Financial.
Yep.
Yep.
Financial.
And we want to really just tap in and just introduce who Frankie, not only who she is, but how she's also going to be a major resource to us at all levels, not only on the adult side, but for the youth, where she's going to be able to offer services for our program to our parents, to our kids. And so I think it's something when you look at where we at now in the economy, everything is going up. You know what I mean? Everything is going up, and you know, money, it's like, ooh, it seems scarce in a sense. You know what I mean? So anything and everything will help. So like as you'll find out, I like to talk, so I don't want to take over the show. Well, we're gonna introduce and let you. Who are you, Frankie? You know what I mean? I had so Ballaholic, before I introduce, so I had the pleasure. I don't think no, you didn't get to meet my Rich Top kids. So the Rich Top boys, we end up finishing second place this year. You know what I mean? Last year we took them from last place to third, and this year we almost had it, but you know we dropped a few games early, but we finished out strong and we finished second. And I had the pleasure of coaching her son, who was the MVP this year for us, Cash. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the great parts is I actually know her, and I know her son. Amazing kid. He stepped up to the plate. You know, I challenged him last year, and you know this year he stepped up in a major way. And so, not knowing her background, then you know what I mean, or who she was, then later come back around full circle. Here she is now, you know, partnering with us. And so I just had to throw that out there because I got love for Cash. My man, he's a motor, you know what I mean? Two sports, football and basketball. I think he did very well. You know what I mean? He's one of those kids like that who's amazing. So, all right, Frank, let me stop bragging on your son. Let me who are you, Frank?
So I moved here I think in 2009. I'm actually a military brat. So I grew up overseas in Japan. I didn't come to the States until after I graduated high school. So I came here just to go to college and get a degree and, get a good paying job like everybody else. And then I ended up here in Washington because I finished my degree here. So I got a degree in emergency medical services. So I finished my degree here, and then I started working at the emergency room in Bremerton when the Harrison Hospital used to be down there.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So that's what brought me over here.
How long have you been in Bremerton?
Man, time goes by real fast. I think 14 years since Cash was born. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Made Rich. So tell us about that. So before we go into Made Rich, what's your background? I read a little bit about your background, and I like for the people to know who you are before we go into your business. What's your background? We heard you, your education part, but you did more other, other positions. So
I have a background in business leadership development and in the financial sector, so also in real estate. So my main career over here after the whole health field, you'll learn that from me probably in later on. But after I left the healthcare field, I went into business, and I ended up as the CFO of Keller Williams over here in Kitsap. So I had multiple offices, the one in Silverdale, in Gig Harbor. And then I ended up working with a CEO over at the Puyallup office, which, associations are everything. Associations, those associations got me to a job in downtown LA. So I was a chief operations officer of a financial firm in downtown LA, where I helped their firm go from a physical building into a remote business. So learned about business over there also. And I think the biggest thing that I got from downtown LA, Hollywood, Beverly Hills experiences, what do rich people really do with their money? Right. And that's actually what sparked off Made Rich Financial was when you put yourself around those types of associations, you hear the conversations that they have, you hear the education that they talk to each other about. You just think when you're not from that, like, wow, people back home, they would benefit so much if they just knew this. Right. So that's where the idea came from. So I was in I call it supportive roles my whole life. COO, CFO, director of operations. So this is the first time I get to be the CEO of something that I'm actually super passionate about. I get to run things my way, partner with the people that I want to partner with, help the people I'm passionate about. So that's what's super exciting.
Great.
You sound like you can start your own basketball firm.
Right. I mean, who knows what's gonna blossom in the future for sure.
All right.
You started Made Rich in 2021.
Yeah, 2021. I worked at the firm in downtown LA for 7 months. I fell in love with it. I was, when you get excited to go to work, that's how it was when I started in finance. And I only did that position for 7 months before I completed what I had to do and started it August of 2021 and then became fully independent and started doing the business at that point. Yep.
Wow. What are some of the things? So Made Rich, you know what I mean? When we say, because I call this, we're going to talk money. So what exactly are the services or what do you offer with your company?
Yeah. So my slogan is we bring Wall Street to Main Street, right? And so we are very financially literacy forward with everything that we do. So we teach people about money and how money works. And instead of trying to shove products down people's throats that they don't even know how they work, well, let's just stick with the fundamentals first. Let's teach you regular things about interest, about taxes, about what type of investments are actually offered, retirements, how to save for your kids. I mean, those types of strategies and concepts are very, very simple. Nobody just ever took the responsibility of educating us before we got out into the real world and started, learning from our own mistakes, right? And so we basically, at any level somebody is, whether they don't know anything about money and they just want to start, we are able to, help them with, services and information at that point. And then we have people that, they have multi-million-dollar businesses. When you don't have money or you do have money, you still need help with your money. Right. You still need a trusted resource to get to know. And the financial industry is ever changing, right? There's new companies, there's new products, there's new strategies, there's new this and that. So who do you go to really to get updated and educated with that so you can make sure that you're not behind the loop? Right. And so that's what we help everybody with. But what makes us different and why I like to partner with people, because we actually are different than a lot of other financial companies because we don't charge anybody. So that is the biggest thing about our services. You can talk to me for 6-7 hours. I mean, different appointments, and to really get your own personal financial situation in shape. And you don't have to worry about how much that's going to cost, right? And I think being able to have a resource like that, if people didn't have to worry about being, clocked in by the minute, to have to pay a fee, I think they would take more interest in getting their finances together.
Right. Well, you need to, yeah, especially if y'all giving out free game. I mean,
Right.
I'd take advantage of it because normally, and when it comes to financial advice and everything, they charge you like lawyers. You're getting charged by the hour, like you said, or by the minute. You're getting charged. But the fact that you guys are giving it out for free and it's informative, I would, that's something I definitely take advantage of. So do you go to, with the financial literacy that you're giving out, do you go to do you talk to college athletes or just people I mean, not the basic people that you already deal with like Hollywood or whatever, but what about do you talk to some colleges some coaches have advisors come in, talk to them about financial literacy, how to spend their money, and a lot of college players get NIL deals and spend a lot of money, don't know what they're doing with it. Do you go and talk to certain schools, or do you do seminars for athletes like that?
I have not been introduced to that demographic yet. So
Mm.
that is actually why I want to get into that, because if I can help rich people, make sure that their mansion is going to be funded, or how to, afford that tiger in the backyard, or right now my big demographic here in town is helping military, right? How to get military right now to get out of that, military and money don't go well together. How do we change that? How do we get them to use their VA loans to be able to have income properties? Right? Different strategies like that people aren't really open on talking about because they don't have the credibility to, or they're worried about misinformation, right? So that right there, and this is what I learned about when I was learning about finance. The strategy to help the person that, has that pro athlete, those issues, it really stems down to just the fundamentals, and it's the same products and services that the person only having $200 to invest can use also. Right. So that's the eye-opening part of it, is that we think that at a higher level, we're going to have to do some really crazy different things than at a lower level when it comes to money, but it's actually all the same. It's actually all the same.
This is good. So I have a VA, housing situation. I'm a veteran, so I will be acting in on how to maximize, and that's what it is. It's been able to maximize our dollars and our resources, and so that's good. And the fact that you want to get into the colleges, and I think that's where we can play a part in, where we have our AAU teams, our prep teams. Ballaholic is the captain of our international team. So you have all of these players that are playing at high levels, or trying to, go off, especially the ones, say, coming out of high school, got a bunch of seniors. They're about to get to the real world. Now what's next? You know what I mean? And so being able to help set them up for success, instead of just saying, hey, I know when I left from high school, you get out to college, you just like, whoa, I got my freedom, and you don't really think of, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
I ain't gonna lie. When I first got to college and I saw $5,000, I'm thinking, what? I'm gonna spend. I forgot I had to pay for my books. I had to pay. You know what I mean? And I totally forgot. And I was just like, they were like, "Yo, where's your money for your books?" I was like, I had all these bags of clothes and shoes. I was like, "Oh my god!" I learned my lesson. I learned my. I was oh my. That was my first time ever experiencing that. I'm straight out of high school, straight to college. So that's all I'm thinking. I'm thinking a scholarship took care of everything, and the $5,000 were for me to spend on whatever. And it wasn't like that. No one. That's what I thought. No one explained it to me. So I was like, oh. I got to learn how to start saving money now. Because I had to remember, when we travel, we still get per diem, but still how to save. If you save on top of what you already have, now you have emergency money you can put to the side. You can have money you probably could just, send home, or somebody to donate, and all of that matters. That's what, you know what I mean? All of that matters about saving. Not just saving for yourself, but maybe for other things as well too. So I had to learn that the hard way.
Everybody learns the hard way, though, right?
Right. Now, hey, and it's so crazy because now that I'm an adult, I have even more bills. So it's just like, man, it's so funny. Back then, I really didn't have that. Now, spending money, now I do it, so I'm saving. It's like, the reverse effect. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It drives me crazy, but that's life. That's just life, man. Learning how to saving stuff.
What is the youngest, I guess, clients or that you work with, or you're able to offer, your services to?
I love that. My youngest client is actually a local client. He became my client when he was 15 days old.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yep, 15 days old. So his mom was my client probably right before she got pregnant. She became my client. She said, you know what? I have a good job, but they don't offer me retirement. I know that I have to retire, so I'm going to take it into my own hands and, talk to somebody about it. So we got her a great retirement strategy because of the information that she learned while getting that retirement strategy. She said, you know what? my kids need to, start saving early. She got pregnant. I taught her about how to save for college for the kids. And she's like, okay, what's the soonest I can start saving for my son? I said, you know what? Once he gets that social security number, you can open up an investment account for him. I'll show you exactly which one. We found one that worked well for her. And when he was born, 15 days later, he became a client. So she started that early. Yeah.
That's crazy. It sounds productive. Like you have everything set up for that, for her and her kid. Yeah. I don't think we have that in California. If we do, I don't know.
It's available in California too. Yeah.
It is? Oh, okay. All right. Because I know San Francisco, we're on the verge of going broke. This entire city is on the verge of going broke. 10% of budget cuts are about to happen, especially for my job. So it's bad out here. So I know if they were to give any kind of advisory advice like you, they'd probably be charging a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough, especially when it gets like that. I don't even know how we got to this point. I think this is the third year after the pandemic that it's just gotten bad, or now it's the fourth year that we're trying to pick it back up. So I don't even know what advice I would give to anyone out here in the city. It's just really, really bad financially. I think we had a mall downtown, and the mayor wants to turn it into a soccer stadium. And I was just like, wait, that mall was bringing in over, I don't know how much money, but it was so many, what do they call it? The people that go in there just take stuff and run out, and no one can actually do nothing. I think one day maybe about 20 of them went in there. They came out with over $200,000 worth of stuff. And like, that's when everything started to shut down. And it was just like, what's going on? What's going on? Where's the rest of the money? Like, I know it's some God they can get it back from insurance and everything, but like, I just didn't understand how the financial advice, how was just everything is just taken away. Downtown is not what the same it is anymore. You can't even drive down Market Street anymore. All of the fancy stores we have a lot of them are gone. So it's like downtown, and it's becoming really bad because of the drug pandemic as well too. So it's just like the money is just going and going and going. How is it going to rebuild? How's it going to start over again? How are they going to reset? And the only way that they're doing that is by bringing the NBA All-Star Game 2025 to San Francisco, which is a good way to bring money back, businesses back. And this would be the perfect time to get some, financial advice to whoever is out here in the city. It's even gotten to a point where you have a rapper. He has a restaurant, and his restaurant has been, consistently being damaged. And he finally made a rap about the mayor. I don't know if you heard it, but you can look it up. Like San Francisco rapper makes song about the mayor. You can look that up. And it was very, very bad, man. Just all the way around. Financial, of course, the community is it's sad that, this guy was Asian. And of course, the mayor is African-American. So right there, it's already you know what I mean? It's just everything involved, financial literacy or financial stuff. Elderly getting picked on, African Americans are getting picked on, whatever, by the police. And it's all has to do with financial stuff. If we don't have enough money for security, if we don't have enough money for people in jobs and stuff, these are the type of things that are going to happen. Even the car break-ins are because of these ones that are breaking in cars don't have the money to support themselves. So people are coming in from out of town with money. So for the inner city guys who are breaking into these cars, that's what it's a payday for them. So there has to be more of financial advice for everyone to be consistent at some point. To either have a job or to do something what you're doing, just do something what we're doing to keep it consistent so we don't have these type of problems, whether we're going broke individually or as a city. You know what I mean? So I think what you're doing is awesome. So I hope that somewhere out here in the city in San Francisco, we can find somewhere we can get some free advice and, things can slowly get back to normal because it's getting really, really bad out with any kind of advice. And I don't see it getting better. It's really getting worse. We really just had a 10% budget cut. Like it's about to start. So anything that you can say to me that I can use in a meeting on Tuesday, I would love that.
But see too, that's the important part of learning personal finance. there are some things that we're not going to be able to, you know, to it's just going to happen. Inflation, can't do anything about that. Interest rates going up, can't do anything about that. Budget cuts, can't really do anything about that. But what we can do is that with what you have, how do you protect your assets, right? What are strategies to protect your assets? What are strategies to protect you from the IRS, right? That's a big one too. They're the biggest bullies out there. So learning those things, and just keeping educated on, okay, what are my options then? If everything outside is kind of, you know, going downhill, what can I do to make sure that me and my family are okay, right? That's where we start first. We have to start at the core first. And then once we know that information, that's when we start spreading it to everybody to help, you know, bigger populations. But it starts with us first, right? So you can't help it. You know, in an airplane, they say, put your mask on before you can help somebody else with their mask. It's the same thing with finance. Get yourself together so you can really help somebody else.
Right.
That's good. All right. That's good. And that's another reason why, why I was saying, I think this would be a great part. I mean, even if it's say once a month or something, we just, have Frankie come on with us, and you just school everybody. You know what I mean? They ask questions and things like that. Where now, because that's the other part too, folks don't know where to go, or if they, or even who to trust. You know what I mean? Because everybody motives is whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be a great part by having Frankie. We do money talk once a month with her and begin to talk about certain investments or what's going on. You know what I mean? Because we're watching how the economy is going. You know what I mean? And like I said, we can't help nobody until we get help ourselves first. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing. We want to try to help somebody else, and we're struggling. You know what I mean? And I think that's real big, because like she's put me on game, all kind of stuff. I don't have no idea. I'm like, oh, I know I got the GI Bill, I got this and that, and just sitting on it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what to do. So
exactly.
Should be key. You know what I mean? Especially as we continue to grow as a business, and that's another thing. IRS. You know what I mean? So Ballaholic, as we begin to go out here and travel international doing business stuff, we got to be protected. You know what I mean? We got to know that we're putting the funds in the right place. You know what I mean? Everything is accounted for. All of those things.
No, for real, because we were in a situation in London where we were like, we short, y'all. We didn't expect this to happen. We didn't expect this to happen. You know what I mean? So for a situation like that, so that's the first thing that kicked in, because that had been my first time in London, and I forgot how expensive it is in London. And when you're deep in London, there's not too many currency places around. You know what I mean? You got to go somewhere for currency. And I was just like, I don't have any cash. I'm like, man, I should have got some more. Where do I go get money? And right there could have been an emergency where I need some money. And I wasn't thinking. So again, you're right. It got to be something else for something. We might have something, maybe there's an emergency, then emergency plus kit for, you know what I mean? For some extra money, so definitely, I need to know all that. Because again, once we get in certain places, our mind just started thinking, like, for example, Las Vegas. As soon as we get to Vegas, it's this cha-ching, cha-ching, whether it be, I don't know, of course, gambling. And then the drinks are free, but there's always other stuff to spend your money in Vegas. There's so many different things, right? So, because I know when I get to Vegas, it's like, man, I'm not spending nothing. I'm not spending no money. And that shouldn't be on my mind the first time I get to Vegas, but that's what we're surrounded by when we get there, right? So it's like, how do I take my mind off of not spending it and to keep my mind on spending less or keeping a perfect balance? And I always get like so fluttered with it, and I wind up spending a lot of money anyway. You know what I mean? So of course it's important to have like some emergency money on the side. That's why a lot of the times I'll have my card, but I'll carry cash emergency in my sock. And I always forget about it in my sock, no matter what. I don't care if I know I put it down there, I'll still forget about it. And that's why I love doing that sometimes. That'll be like my emergency money. So it's always a lot of different options and the different ways to kind of, save some money just, periodically that you're going to need for sure. You know what I mean? Going to places like London or going to places like Vegas. So Like I said, any kind of advice, I'd take on to any kind of advice. But a lot of people do need that though, because we hear stories about NBA athletes how they have worth millions of dollars, and when they retire, they go broke. You see them at 9-to-5 jobs. You know what I mean? Even they don't know like how to save. It's like, man, you had that much money. How do you go broke? And I always, when I hear these stories, I'm like, man, how you have that much money and you just go broke? Where's the investments at? Where's the savings? Where's the CD accounts? Like, where's all of that at? You had none of that? Like, what was you doing? So so that would be my question for you. So what do they do? What do these athletes like? Because I know you work with rich people, and so if you even work with an athlete with millions of like, what are they doing when they go broke after so many millions of dollars?
It really is. So it could be multiple different things, but here's my thought on it. When people have a lot of money, what they don't do is they don't continue to make money. Does that make sense? Let's say you got a lump sum of 5 mil. Cool, you got 5 mil. But where's your head at? Are you playing checkers with it or are you playing chess with it? Because you can play checkers and buy this and that and get on credit for this and this and this. But then they're not doing the math on, okay, but I need to make this much money in order to continue to live this type of lifestyle. Right? So they set the match to it. They set the match to it and then they forget, like, at the end of the match, there's going to be a bomb at the end, right? So you really got to plan that out. And so, people see lump sum, but they don't see income. So here's the biggest thing also that I learned. And it's not about lump sum. And everybody flashes lump sum. Oh, 5 mil, 500,000, how many bands? That's lump sum. Wealthy people are thinking about income, right? It's not 5 mil anymore. Now it's that 5 mil is going to make $500,000 every year for the rest of my life. Yep. Then what other thing can I get another lump sum to make income with? So that's what they have is called assets. Those assets make that money. So they use the income to buy the asset, right? They use a lump sum to buy the asset that makes an income. Right? It's a different type of game. It's a different it's really taking it from checkers to chess. Like, you have to know what the next moves are and not start that first move until you at least know what 2, 3, 4 down the road is going to be.
Right. I've heard the saying too, don't buy an $80,000 car before you buy a house. I've heard that. I hear that saying all the time.
I mean, and it matters on the person because, one thing about me also, I'm not one-sided with it. Some people, I tell them they shouldn't be buying a house, right? Well, there's certain needs in lifestyle. Owning real estate is just not the best situation. So one big thing about, once you start learning financial literacy is you realize there are only certain types of strategies that you can do, but one strategy is not the best for everybody. That's what people get wrong when they start listening to these people on TikTok. They start listening to people on Instagram. They take one piece of advice and they say, just because I heard it is for me. Like, no, you really got to talk to somebody and see what is actually best for you. Because if you take it with your health also, one vitamin for somebody is not going to benefit them like it is for another person whose body actually really needs that. Right? Same thing with our finances. So it's personal finance for a reason because we can't just treat everybody the same.
Right.
That's good. No, that's real good. You know what I mean? So I know. Go ahead.
You said wait. So at first you said you were an emergency. You worked in emergency care.
Yes, I did.
So you could have been like, man, you could have been making just as much as you're making now, probably even more. Maybe like I don't know. I know like EMTs, they make a lot of money. Even with the firefighter department, they make maybe over $100,000 a year or something like that. So is this more your passion, or was more the EC your passion?
I definitely make more doing this than I do in the emergency medical field, for sure. For sure. I don't know what firefighter that makes more than 100,000, but they've probably been working there for 25 plus years, right? I don't want to wait 25 plus years to make 6 figures.
Right.
I mean, even living in Washington, what does $100,000 in a household really do? I mean, we're just like right above water with 100,000.
Yeah.
So average income in America is 55,000.
Yep.
I don't know, but that sounds like a hard time for me.
Yeah. I know, for real though. If you not, so if you ain't in low income, that 100,000, that's gonna be, you barely be making it. Right.
I got out of being an EMT or the reason why I got into business is because if you do the math, you do $1 million. If you want to be a millionaire, I feel like that's a good number to be at, cash millionaire. What job is going to pay you that? There's no job that's going to pay you $1 million. You have to go into business if you want to make that much money. I mean, really, if you want to make over $150,000 a year, you have to be in business in some type of way, because there is no job really out there that does that unless you put in 20, 25, 30 years of your time. But at that point, I mean, I don't want to work that long.
No, I get it. I know it makes sense. I get it. No one wants to work that long for that much money. Yeah. I mean, but so like you said, everyone's different. You might have that one person who just, I mean, that could be another job for them, not per se a retirement job, but a job, just something that they would love to have for the rest of their lives and wouldn't really care about the money, just more of the community help or giving back or doing something to help stop the community or whatever the case may be. But like you said, there's no way that, you want to wait that long to make that much money though, for sure.
No offense to anybody that does. I mean, that's a really good income to be bringing home. But I mean, if you have the knowledge to make more money doing something else, then why would you go that route?
Exactly.
Right. And so, I have a business mentorship program. I've been doing that for 11 years. And it's really coaching entrepreneurs into a different type of mindset. Like, okay, if you're upset about how much your job is paying you, you can't just continue to complain about it. What are you going to do outside of that to get you in a better position? Right. So that's where business mentorship also comes in. So there's financial, personal finance, but then there's also a business aspect of it too. Like, the system isn't made for us to be as successful as we really want to be.
Right.
So we need to really do understand business, because you can work so hard with a great paying job, but you're still probably putting 40, 50 hours a week. What if that's not the lifestyle that you want to live, but you still want to make that money?
Right.
It's not just about money anymore. It's about time. We're realizing that now.
Yes.
It is about time. Yeah, we don't have time at all. So, right, we got to get to it. We got to get to the money.
The mentorship. You said you have a mentorship?
Yes. So we do business mentorship. I was part of a coaching program in real estate that I really enjoyed. And so I took that aspect and I put it into my business now. So I now do business mentorship in the finance industry, because that's what, we're doing, coaching people into, okay, if you want to be somebody with this mission also to be able, spread the knowledge that you feel is very important, then how do you go about doing that? Right? What is the mentality that it takes for somebody to actually have a business? Business coaches keep you accountable. That's the biggest thing that I do is I keep people accountable when it comes to business. How many people did you contact today? Right? How many families did you help today? What is your business plan for the rest of the week? I mean, business coaching is really just accountability. So and some people, that's all they need. They have everything up here already. They have everything in place. They just need kind of somebody to light that fire under their butts a little bit sometimes. Mm-hmm.
We all need that finance. Yeah, we all need that.
I'm like, yes. How can people basically be able to reach out to you, or who's interested with some of your services? How can they find you?
Yeah. So what's really exciting is we wanted to incorporate the partnership that we had together. So we're getting our web page updated, which is awesome, because we'll have the admirals on there as well. But we have emails, we have link trees, we have a Facebook that just got put on live last week. We have a new Instagram that actually Cash is the social media manager for. So that's Cash's job for our business. He's learning social media marketing. I feel like as we get older with anything that we do, that's a skill that I wish that they taught in school. So he's actually going to learn to do the marketing for that. So now our Instagram is live off of last week too. So I can give you information to be able to put public if needed, but we have phone numbers, emails, social media pages, and there's booking links on all of those sites. So they can just go in there. It'll take them right into the calendar link. They can put exactly what they are interested in, and then it sends us a message and then puts it in the calendar for us.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Some good information. Yeah.
Doing that. And so I guess, I don't know if we want to do every fourth Sunday. We got to figure out a day that we want to just money talk. Let's bring her on and we just begin to allow her, just to educate all of us, what I mean? Yeah. All of our supporters, fans, and, folks who are interested and really being able to put their family, because, that's what I'm on. I'm on like, I have a grandson, you know what I mean? So I need generational wealth. With my business, I need to know, hey, I can pass something on to my kids and their kids and continue to take care of them no matter what, and so I'm big on that. Just really, that's why I said the accountability, all of, you got to be a sponge too, and I think that's the biggest thing is I love to learn and I don't know all the ins and outs on the financial world. And I think that this is a huge asset to me personally, let alone just to the organization as a whole. And so I think that if, we have a day we're talking, I'm thinking maybe every fourth Sunday, you know what I mean? Just end of the month, beginning before you go into the next one, you pay your bills at the beginning, you had that extra money. What do? You know what I mean? How can I put a little money over here to make some more money? Income taxes coming around, you know what I mean? Begin to maximize the knowledge that we may have that's a little extra and begin to put in places so we can have some money down the road. Because, most time we get the income tax money, everybody just spending it and, you're just doing all of these things. And then, when it really get down to it, the struggle be real, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that that'd be a good piece. What are something like, what is one of the easiest ways or things that you may recommend? I know everybody is different, you know what I mean? But say, if somebody say, hey, I got like $50, $100, you know what I mean? Just something that I want to just get started, would you have like some maybe recommendations or ideas?
Yeah, I don't like to make things too general for people when it comes to if you have $50 to do this with it, just because people's goals are different. Right. But my suggestion is I think everybody needs to do a budget with their money, right? And I'm not saying budget as in don't spend anything on anything. I mean, I'm probably the last person to tell you not to spend your money on something if it makes you happy. But I do think that people need to pay themselves first. That's a concept that takes the psychology behind don't buy certain things to how about you just make yourself a priority, okay? So I tell everybody, hey, write down your goals and your dreams, because if you don't have no goals, then you're not going anywhere. So you can't get mad that you're still in the same place, right? You have to have a goal. So when it comes to that goal, whether it be buying a house, whether it be going on vacation, whether it be a pair of shoes, I don't care what it is, but you have to have your vision on something. If you're trying to find now a habit on what to do in order to get to these goals, my suggestion is pay yourself first. Just as you won't let your cell phone bill lapse, it's $100. What if you put your dreams and your goals at $100 also a month? That's $100 you're putting away. So just like you wouldn't let the lights turn off, your light bill's probably between what, $50 to $100. All right. What about for your goals and your future and your dreams? Why don't you put $100 or $50 away every month for that? Right now, where people put it is going to be dependent on what their needs are, right? That's where the personal finance part comes in. But before we go on where we're going to put it, how can we make sure that we got it every single month? And that's paying yourself first. That's the concept. I don't even see
Okay.
it anymore as saving my money, right? I have some big goals and big dreams, which is why there's a certain amount of money that I know for sure, just like the mortgage, just like the rent, just like the electricity bill, that's going to come out. Everything else after that, okay, I can either save it or spend it at this point, right? It's not a second option to save. It is a first option, just like everything else that's important to me is a first option. But if you don't have a goal or a dream that you want that bad, it's not going to happen.
Exactly. Because I always think about if everything were to end today, would I be able to take care of myself for the rest of my life? And I wouldn't be. Today, if everything ended today, I would not be able to take care of myself financially. I wouldn't. So that's another thing that I need to really recognize and understand. Like, yo, like it's gonna be over, man. Like you gotta be ready financially. If everything ended today, would you be ready financially for you and your kids? Like, man, you know what? I'd barely be making it. You know what I mean? So I gotta this was good. You're right, Coach. This is good because not only for everyone who's watching, but for myself, kind of just woke me up, a lot more than what I've been thinking already. So much appreciated for you being on here, Frankie D.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we will be doing. We're going to put more advertisement out and marketing. And we want to thank you. Their company is getting behind our youth program as well. And so that's the thing that she's not just only giving advice and her time and her expertise, but she's also putting funding behind what she does. You know what I mean? And that's something that I'm grateful for because it's, we start talking about partnering up and working with people as our slogan, we all eat. You know what I mean? So it's not just one-sided, one person is getting everything and the other person's not doing nothing, but we're coming together for a bigger goal. And that's to change our community and make an impact. And so you're going to see, Made Rich everywhere. You're going to see Frankie, at different events and things like that we're going to be doing together. But then you're also going to see every fourth Sunday, we're going to have Money Talk with Frankie, where we're going to really just begin to just educate ourselves as we continue to grow. Because like I said, Ballaholic, we're on the same page. That's why when I met her and I was like, okay, yeah, this is on time. You know what I mean? Because like for me, I have a grandson, but then I also have a disabled son. That's a whole different world. You know what I mean? Where he needs to have certain things and things in place where, if something ever happens, where he's able to be okay. You know what I mean? Right. So it's been able to really put our lives in a place that, as dads, that we're like, okay, you know what I mean? I have confidence that they're going to be okay. You know what I mean? And I think that's some of the biggest things. And that's why I was like, oh, yeah, I think this would be great for Ballaholic and myself, from a personal and business model for us, but then for everybody that our platform reaches, I think it's going to be great for everybody to be able to hear it. So, like we said, this is way bigger than basketball. Yes, basketball is, the tool that God has allowed us to go all over the world and reach people, but our platform is way bigger than basketball. And so this is a prime example that we got to know our finances. And that's true. A lot of us didn't learn this at school or whatever they taught us in school. I don't know.
I didn't. Hey, I didn't. Obviously not. If I'm spending $5,000 or something to get to college. I know how to count. Though they taught us how to count. I know how to count. Oh man.
So before we get off, Frankie, is there anything, last words until we get back on in about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, when we make our actual show? Is there anything you would like to leave our viewers?
I definitely want the viewers to get a lot more involved in like picking the topics, right? Because we're only really going to be teaching what people want to know or what is going to be helpful. So, I mean, I want real life topics. I had a client the other day. He's really, really young. I think he's like 23 or 24 years old. And he goes, Frankie, teach me about a trust. What does a trust do? You always hear people, they talk about trust fund babies. I want my baby to be a trust fund baby. What does that mean? Right? So I love specific topics just like that one instead of very general, because that way it's a lot easier to, create a story out of it that people can actually take that information in. So we do financial literacy in a different type of way, more of a storytelling, right? Because we learn a lot easier, a lot better that way. So if the viewers, can think of their personal situations, remember, we got to put the mask on ourselves first, right? So if you think of personal situations of, hey, I would love to learn more about, this problem, it can't be too personal, but very general problems like, hey, I'm paycheck to paycheck right now. What can I do to, make it so that what can I do with this extra $50, $100? Right? Or what can I do for my kid if I only have $50, $100 a month? Or, I'm worried about not leaving my family with anything. Yeah. Generational wealth is a big one, because if we passed away right now, and it's hard as a parent when you think about this, you passed away right now, what are your kids actually going to have?
Yes.
How much struggle are you gonna, when you pass away, are you gonna pass them with struggle? Or are you gonna pass them with something for them to be, pretty well taken care of?
Right.
Right. So those are the types of situations that I kind of want people to, kind of put their ideas in. Then we can kind of look through it and say, hey, this is a popular topic. A lot of people need help on this one. And I think that then we can cater, the agenda to that when we do our money talks times.
I like that. That's definitely one of my top ones. I want to know more is, like you said, the generational wealth, being able to put myself in the best position, like I said, for my kids and grandkids, especially with a business. So what does it look like? How to put money here and there. And then on the backside, I'm an ex-vet. So I have this BA for housing and this and that. I want to learn how to use that money, get a place, what does it look like, and able to maximize that, So those are some of the things that I'm going to have and be talking to you offline, but then it'll be something that I would love to share, because I know it'll be a topic that there's other veterans out here that want to know these things. There's other people I know, like Ballaholic, who's want to know how to leave a legacy, generational finances and things like that. So his children doesn't have to, if you say, struggle or go through some of the things that he may have had to go through as an adult, where you're like, oh, okay, so those are something that I know personally that I would love to, hear and get guidance on, because I don't know the ins and outs. I have owned a business for the last over a decade, and been all over the world and done certain things, but I'm just like, man, I know it's more to this. It's more levels that I can maximize this and really make my dollars count for it, and multiply. So those are just put my 2 cents out there. So viewers, please, we're going to come on once a month, email, comment, beforehand, so we can have topics. And even when you come on, like now, it's open. Y'all can, boom, get in the comments and in the chat and ask questions. So y'all don't have to just, just watch us talk, but say, hey, ask a question. So say, hey, Frankie, here's the question, and she can answer. So this is what this is all about. Our podcast is for you all to interact with us so we all can build together. So yes, you have to throw mine out there, Frankie. So I utilizing, the services, all your services, as I'm getting to know exactly everything that you have to offer. And, they'll just say thank you for taking the time to partner with us and be available for us.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've been talking about it before we had that meeting together. Because this is such a big deal to me. I mean, sports helped raise my son. I was a single mom for a really long time. So the type of coaching and mentorship that he got from sports, I'm so grateful for that. So how can I give back to that? How can I give back to those types of organizations? And one of the biggest things is, something that I luckily can offer, which is, financial literacy and education, which I think can impact that coaching world, and, just kids, parents, just use the platform. So thank you for, having this relationship with our agency to be able to, kind of put these two things together, that, people really look up to this organization, your guys' organization in the community and all around. So I think this is a really good value to add to what you guys are doing for the community. So I'm very happy to be able to help with that.
No, I say thank you. It's humbling and it's encouraging, because sometimes you don't realize the impact you may have. You know what I mean, in your community and just with people. And so to hear that and say, yes, I want to continue to provide resources and a platform so we all can grow and come together as a community. And what you have is a major asset, on so many levels, because like I said, we don't learn all of these things in school, we don't learn all of this, yes, our parents can teach us so much, but they're also living and learning as well, you know what I mean? And so it's one of those where, like I said, I have an opportunity, because I have from elementary all the way through high school, train kids, play, they play on teams and things like that. But to begin to, help them to understand, because like I've been telling our high school girls, saying, hey, the focus is life. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up on what's going on and off the court and how the season's going. When you take away, we want to give you the tools for life. You know what I mean? And so I think that this is what we're talking about, is showing everybody this is really what life looks like. Because, as I say, once you stop playing sports, life is still going on. You know what I mean? So, some people might go on and play at a high level, some may not. But it doesn't mean everybody's going to have to pay bills. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality of it. So, yes, Frankie, I appreciate it. I've got about an hour. I get to get in the gym myself and go and teach kids. Something I love to do. Get in the gym and do some training. But yes, it was, once again, amazing topic or conversation with you. Anything before we head up, all?
Oh no, nothing. Again, like Coach said, I think I also got a couple of things playing in my mind just in this conversation alone. Like I said, if I were to stop playing today, basketball, even work, would I be able to take care of myself? And I wouldn't be. So there's some things I got to do. No, thank you for the advice. It's much needed, especially for me, but I know more so for whoever's watching. It's helping for somebody who's watching. Everything we said, they're probably going through everything that we probably said. So I really have to take into consideration of that, because I know for me, a lot of times I'll say, yeah, and then I'll never do it. You know what I mean? So I really have to do it. I really got to do it, because in the back of my mind, it's always been there. Like, I'm a long-term memory, like, Cordell, we got to start saving. We got to save. We got to save. Like, you go into these countries and playing, but not even for basketball, just period, dude. You got to save, man. Like, your babies, your kids, like, you got to, that's what it is. And even other stuff beyond that, car problems, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, whatever, anything else, that's what I got to save for. And I understand the older I get, the more, the more I'm going to have to really save, because then I'm going to have grandkids at some point as well, too. So, and then a house, and then, everything else. So I got to, man, it sucks to even think about all of that. It's like, dang, but I got to do it. I got to do it. So thank you, Frankie. Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
All right. We want to say thank you all for tapping in again to Streetball to Pro. Money Talk with Frankie D. We will have her back next month. And like I said, you don't have to wait until we have the podcast with her. If you have any questions, you need her services, please, please, please reach out to her. You can hit us up and we can get y'all connected to her. So this is what it is. Like I said, the podcast is just a tool that we can open it up, and we want to have continue viewers to ask questions and know that the resource is available. But her services is for everyone. And for those who are part of the Admirals family, this is now a new resource that'll be available for the family as well as the kids. So this is going to be a program that we're adding to, like you said, it's bigger than basketball. So financial literacy is now a part. We got mental health that's a part, you know what I mean, about programs. So we're just showing y'all we're constantly looking and really trying to prepare our young folks for life, as well as help equip our parents, you know what I mean? Because that's another thing too. Playing AAU or any kind of sports, you know, there's money that's coming out, and everybody don't have all this extra money to come out and go here and there. And that's one thing that when I started, I didn't want to be a problem, was money limited kids from the resources that they can, you know, need to be successful. You know what I mean? And so we're going to figure out all kind of different ways on how to not only say fix that, but put extra money in your pocket so you can begin to be successful outside of just, like I said, money going out. How can we have money coming in? So, you know, Streetball the Pro is the ambassador, and Ballaholic and our girl Frankie D. So, till next time.
All right, Coach. All right, Frankie.
Bye.
Bye.